What if the Montreal Canadiens, a franchise meticulously building for a sustainable future, became the target of a trade rumor so outrageously lopsided that it would lead to the immediate institutional interdiction of any NHL executive who dared propose it? That's the level of asymmetry we're forced to dissect today. As a media report, with alarming seriousness, claims general manager Kent Hughes offered a quartet of players to acquire Matthew Knies from the Toronto Maple Leafs. This isn't just a rumor. It's a tactical comedy of errors, a video game simulation gone wrong, and a blatant insult to the intelligence of the Canadiens' front office and fan base. Let's immediately activate the lights in our war room and put this proposal under the microscope. The alleged quartet includes Caden Goal, the absolute pillar of our shutdown defense, a young man who devours 22 minutes a night, consistently matching up against the world's best players, and locked into a fantastic $5.5 million annual contract through 2031. Alongside him, we'd supposedly send David Reinbacher, our 5th overall draft pick, the future of our right side blue line. Add to that package Kirby Dach, a 6 feet 4 inches center with elite potential, and Sam Montembeault, our starting goaltender with international experience, earning a cap-friendly $3.15 million. So, you're telling me we give up the present and future of our defense, our starting goalie and a top rotation center? And what would the Montreal Canadiens receive in return for the system error level trade simulation? Matthew Knies and Anthony Stolarz. Dramatic pause for corporate reason to breathe. Is Matthew Knies an excellent hockey player? Without a shadow of a doubt. He's a modern power forward, plays hard on the boards, has a nose to net, and is a fantastic complementary piece for any Stanley Cup contender. But pay close attention to the word complementary. He's a winger. In the economy of the National Hockey League, big-bodied centers and top-pairing right-shot defensemen are worth their weight in solid gold. The idea that a franchise in the final stages of a rebuild would package 2 defensive cornerstones, Goal and Reinbacher, for a single winger borders on administrative insanity. But the tactical comedy reaches its peak when the article attempts to justify the inclusion of goaltenders in the deal. The text suggests the Canadiens would take on Anthony Stolarz' long-term contract to mentor our young goaltenders, Jakob Dobes and Jacob Fowler. The writer proposes that Montreal's best course of action would be play Stolarz every 3 or 4 games, limiting him to about 20 appearances a year, just to keep him off the injured list because he's too fragile. My friends, since when has a professional sports franchise at the highest level of competition trade its reliable starting goaltender, Montembeault, to its biggest divisional rival and absorb an injury-prone goalie on a long-term contract, merely to be a bench mentor who plays 20 games a year to avoid breaking? The NHL salary cap is unforgiving hard cap. You don't spend millions of dollars of your vital cap space on bench mentors while shipping out the pillars of your defense. Kent Hughes and Jeff Gorton are brilliant executives. They operate with a cold calculation of investment bankers, accumulating assets, not distributing out-of-season Christmas presents to Bay Street. And to nail the coffin shut on this fiction, drafted without the slightest analytical criteria, we have the most hilarious line in the entire piece. The Toronto Maple Leafs clearly didn't want to make the deal, and the Montreal Canadiens are praying they do. If Brad Treliving, the Maple Leafs GM, received a call and Kent Hughes genuinely offered Goal, Reinbacher, Dach, and Montembeault for Knies and Stolarz, Treliving wouldn't just accept in the same split second. He'd carry Knies on his own back down Highway 401 to Montreal to ensure the paperwork wasn't canceled. Toronto would solve its defensive problems for a decade, gain a cheap starting goaltender, and an immense center. It's a dream scenario for any franchise desperate for flexibility and youth on the blue line. To say Toronto refused this offer is a final proof that the source of this rumor was either delusional or playing corporate chess to inflate Knies' name in the market. The media needs to understand that the modern Montreal Canadiens fan, the Blue Blanc Rouge Nation, is educated in the metrics of the sport. We follow the salary cap, we know the value of our assets, and we don't fall for narratives of desperation. The core being assembled at the Bell Center demands patience and protection. You don't mortgage the brick and cement of your house to buy a pretty door for the living room. The tactical verdict is stamped absolute market fraud. Caden Goal remains untouchable on our blue line. Reinbacher continues his physical development process, and our focus remains on organic growth, far from the desperate madness of the neighboring media. I'd like to dissect the real impact of the Montreal Canadiens salary cap for next season with the renewal of our key pieces. The command of the War Room is all yours.